right? 50 different documents. Oh, I think that's Eve. Come on in. Hey,
Hello.
Eve, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Abby. Do not leave the office.
Wait, why?
Little
Oh, the
Soul
head
Red
pops.
Garage is a dead zone. Yeah, try to go
Oh,
and get food
gotcha.
at Senior Bonds, and it is just not it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
It is just not it. Just do not leave.
Let me get you up to speed, and then I'm gonna pull you into the conversation we were just having.
Mhm.
We have saved the state $4.8 million a day.
Okay, that's
Yep.
good. How much was it when we started?
We were we're making about 38 million, and we're spending 41 million. And when we were in office, like, so there was some screwy shit in addition to some of the fuck he was doing with this at all. The best way to describe it is, I think he just pumped all the sliders up based on making people happy, if that makes sense. But there was no underlining. Things were either 0% or 100%. There was like no in between. I was able to identify a massive gap where like rehabilitation was costing us $4.8 million daily. I took all the data, I sent it to the feds, and they slapped some motherfuckers down, and now we're like, we should be in the green. Like, I think we're going to be making about $3 million a day. I'm estimating. We're not going to know till it kind of rolls over, but it's going to be nice. The other thing that has been changed is doctors are now getting paid $2,500 an hour instead of $1,000. That includes EMS. In addition to that, their medical equipment is way better, which means instead of being in bed for 5 minutes as they're like rapping you, it's going to be about a minute, which gives them more like leeway to, you know, do things, and not having a ward full for like 30 minutes straight, you know, after a shootout. The other thing I did is I brought tow all the way to 0 or all the way to 75% or something like that. My justification is tow brings no value. Cultural, ooh, I like that word. I'm gonna call it cultural value, Eve. Like, cultural value meaning, what are they doing to make
Give back to the city?
Exactly.
I think that's how we have to view a lot of the jobs, is what is it doing for the city in turn, right?
And like, honestly, tow is just a bunch of grinders, like 90%. And the way that I can substantiate that claim is tow was making $1.8 to $2 million every 7 days. To give you a comparison with the other jobs, Grime is making $80,000 every 7 days. Group 6 is making about $1 million. So if you took 4 of the state jobs, that would equal how much tow is making. So now the secondary reason for this is Group 6 at least has a bit of a culture, right? It has cultural value simply because, you know, they can get robbed. They can, you know, a lot of things can happen. Tow, not really. But what I want to do with tow is I'm going to I've contacted a tow supervisor named Julian. He's the guy that works down at the tow lot for months now. And he's got a clipboard. He talks to people. He does all that kind of shit. I'm awaiting him. At the same time, once things get stabilized, I'm going to encourage tow companies to open up. And we're going to redirect all those savings, or some of those savings, subsidize those businesses. So I want the tow guys working for the tow businesses to be making money. not the random motherfuckers, you know? And
I think it'd also be helpful to talk about PD tow at some point as well, because
mhm.
I've seen a bunch of times on Twitter how the PD are asking for specific tow workers and there just aren't any responding. To probably see what's up with that, because I don't think the people who are towing are even looking at expanding to help the PD when it comes to picking up cars that are used in crimes as well. But that's more on the PD not having a structured system for that, right?
Yes. So, the feds are, you know, extremely helpful. I had a very long conversation with them yesterday night. Yes, I don't sleep.
Yeah, we know that.
And it was very fruitful. I don't want to go too into the details because not everything is fleshed out. But we should be expecting some level of separation between Blaine and Los Santos. I think we already kind of knew that was happening, but now I know for sure we're going to be able to control the city, like funds, and the North is going to, do the North. And so, which is really good for us because we make the money, I know that sounds a little evil, but going off the heels of a recent problem that I ran into with Blaine, wasn't the end of the world, but it definitely made me realize that cooperation is not going to be at 100%. There's already politic with a K being played, and us being able to control our internal finances gives us a lot of latitude to ensure that we can shape the city in our vision.
So once that split happens, we'll probably be able to deal with that way better too.
Absolutely. To give you an idea, fishing is making $2 million every 7 days.
Oh, I don't know what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you touch the fishing at all when
Nope.
when you entered
It's
office?
maxed out.
Okay, that's so strange because I went fishing yesterday and I caught fish so quickly. It's like the proficiency of the rods was just way better somehow. In 20 minutes, I was making 2.5K every 20 minutes.
Wait, it went higher?
It depends on what you catch, but every 20 minutes you'd make between.
Wait, what if
1.1 and
Andy slid the
2.5.
slider up?
I don't know because I was
don't think
catching
she
fish.
did.
I was catching fish quicker than I ever have. It would usually take me 2 minutes. It would usually take me 2 minutes to catch a really hard fish. And yesterday I was catching, my pockets would be filled up within 20 minutes and it would usually take 40 minutes, I'd say.
What?
Yeah. Something definitely changed.
So there is likely, how do I put this? I am working very, very close. Okay. I think our administration is the first one that's actually, I'm not trying to boast too highly. I'm just going to say it. I think we have spent more time looking at finances than the past administration in 30 days. And as a side effect, we're probably finding things that is probably the feds didn't want, and they might be, you know what I'm saying? So
the past 7 months could just as well be written in void. I just don't feel like anything of value happened.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. So it's possible that there's certain things, because I have heard some people kind of kicking their feet. Oh my God, it's at 2.2 mil. Wait, it is going up.
Like I said, there was, I don't know if, I'm asking if something did change, because
no, I don't think Andy changed this. But I think the fish, it may be circulating. But going back to the fish thing though, what do you call it? You know, so it's costing the state $2.2 million for fish.
Why?
Um,
Why? There's no. The fish gets
Jelly,
sold
think of the
back
3 months.
to
Lung, think of the Prime
the
sub.
guy standing there, and what does it help the city?
If I was mayor of the entire state, I would drop it. I have been told that you make about $10,000 an hour, and then on top of that, you can get guns and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I made an extra 14K of dirty money too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, the thing is, luckily that's not going to be too much of our concern in the future, but
yeah,
it's
true.
more to point out, like, because yeah, it Andy does need it though. It's like the only job they got up there.
Yeah.
You know? She'll probably control wood to a degree as well, but this okay. There is literally I look, I'm just gonna say it. There is gonna be tension between the North and the South, right? I already knew that going into it. And this isn't on Andy, this isn't on BCSO. There's gonna be natural like dividing lines.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
It's unavoidable. They're gonna have their way of doing things. We're gonna have our way of doing things. There's gonna be disagreements. And I'll give an example, right? They may control wood production. But if it's sold in the city, we need our cut.
The thing is that they need to come to the city to process it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The fishing, at the end of the day, the salmon that gets caught needs to be used in the booths as well. And at the moment, the sushi booth can't function because salmon is so hard to catch that it's gonna clash. You're right. Like there's gonna be strain on that relationship because it's blending.
Yep. I mean, I'm excited for it, to be honest. Like I'm just frankly not interested in a for there not to be tension, this like fucking like I want to work with them, don't get me wrong, but I want some spice, you know what I mean? Otherwise it's gonna be fucking boring.
Yeah, true.
So what else did I want to I registered lossantos.me.
Ooh, okay.
And Michael is currently today into tomorrow he's going to be finding a pretty good template, and the idea is that alongside the like state announcements, I'll be posting up things in there. So for example, when we announce things, you can go to the site and see the past mayoral announcements. But then also in addition to that, like let's say like a lot of people are questioning sanitation, right? There's going to be currently, due to the way that things have been in Los Santos, I think there's a more than ever in the past, there's a very now, gimme mentality. There's no patience or understanding. And this has been reflected with sanitation, which we bumped all the way to 0% efficiency in order to get data, which I have someone off doing, a guy named Chris King. Now, in the past 24 hours, there has been some sanitation workers that are kind of fussing about it, and we've been directing them at Chris. Now, understandably, Chris not everyone's going to talk to Chris. A lot of the city may not understand what's happening behind the scenes. So on the site, we could like post an article being like, here's what we're doing with sanitation. Here's where it used to be. Here's what the research is. Here's the side effect of us bringing it up. We are finding a solution, and here's our final solution, So that way we have at least done our part in being transparent with the public. while simultaneously being able to frame our logic behind the decisions. Because at that point, if we've done our job and people are crying, then, you know, why bother, right? Kit stepped down yesterday.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. She's affiliated, and she had concerns that might put a stain on the cabinet. I respected a decision. I sort of saw it coming anyways. It very minimal involvement. She was valued, but transparently, she had very minimal involvement during election season. You know, even after we got elected. But you know, I don't fault her for that. She's, you know, has a lot of cases of other things going on. It is what it is.
Rather her be honest than, you know, be here and not, you know, contribute as she should. So it's it's good that she did that.
Absolutely. I did let her know that, you know, our door's always open. Yeah. So I think that's everything. Have I told you about the highway patrol stuff?
No.
Okay. Okay, so here's kind of the series of events. And this is probably going to be pretty relevant, but I'm going to skip some of the details. We won the election, spoke to Angel. Angel let us know things are getting split, new cars coming out, You know, we're going to have to pass legislation for it, blah, 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 right? Give it some time and figure it out. Literally like an hour later, Andy Bones and Declan Crane wanted to meet up. I believe I invited Barrick down, or maybe they did, regardless. We met here, and they proposed a highway patrol unit. They're very adamant in saying it was not a cargo fast unit, doesn't respond to races, etc., but then underlined that they will attach to cop calls. So I mostly had the intent of listening, but quite frankly, I don't really give a fuck because there's bigger issues. And telling me it was such a fucking stupid look. Like, it just, quite frankly, I thought it was embarrassing that the first thing that I'm hearing an hour into getting into office is cops need fast cars. Like, it's, I was just like, I was literally, I was just like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. Like,
there's other issues that need to be addressed before thinking that a fast car is going to solve the majority of the issues.
Precisely. Like, there's all the legislation's gone. Like, there's like budget issues, like, and it's like, this is the first thing we're going to talk about. Like, what? Like, so I was already kind of like taken aback by that, but also they had apparently been talking about this for a minute. The way it came across to me was that Blaine County was planning to do it, and they were going to do it anyways, and they want to kind of give us a heads up. And then it came out during the meeting that Barrick was hearing it for the first time. And that's when it really, like, when I actually got annoyed, because I'm like, you're telling me this entire time you guys are trying to spin up a unit with interceptors and you haven't talked to the chief of police. Like, once again, I'm like, this is fucking embarrassing. Like, weigh in with your colleague first. But whatever. As it went on, I asked for it to be written down so that there'd be no confusion as to what is being proposed. Because if we're going to accept it in the city, like, also have that unit, whatever. It's very clear what the expectations are, right? There was a lot of pushback from that, and it was really just idiotic pushback, if I'm going to be frank, because the argument was, well, we don't want to write it down because what if we talk about it and we want to do something else? Then we wasted effort, which tells me that these people don't do paperwork because it takes 15 minutes to put a proposal down. We've already written like 6 pieces of legislation, right? You put it on paper, like the fuck. And next thing you know, like fucking Declan is arguing with Barrick, and I'm just like, all right, this conversation's done. Please give me a proposal. I've got a million fucking fires to put out right now. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about fast cars. Well, anyways, I speak to Barrick. Barrick is conveying to me that this is normal. He hadn't heard about it. They normally do things and don't tell him. They're going to do this unit anyways. Yeah, they're going to bring the interceptors down. Yeah, it's going to affect our calls, because if a call happens down here, right, they're effectively saying that if someone robs the Maze Bank, they can go bring their interceptor down and join that call. So there's an immediate effect on this county. And in turn, if that's going to cause escalation in the city, we need to be, we need to consider these things, right? And so I told him I got his back, and he's like, look, they might do it anyways. I'm like, listen, if they do some, like, if they really start doing like hyper stupid shit, like, we've got ways to do it. We can push back. Like, we can literally just ban interceptors from the city and make it criminal. Now that's not to say we would do it, but it's more of, we can if they're doing some like Civil War shit. I talked to Andy. We realized it was a miscommunication. She came in with a proposal. I don't fully believe that, right? I think she's lying, to be honest. Not lying, but I think she kind of backtracked due to I think there was some backtracking involved. But whatever, we agreed that, like, listen, we'll get it on paper, we'll discuss it more. And then Barrick went to go talk to Andy that night and flip the script. So in that moment, I'm like, Barrick's out.
Why would he need to go talk to her though? It has nothing to do with like if he's in LSPD.
I don't know. They were like dating before or some shit. Like according to Tilly, I don't fucking know. This guy wants to be BCSO. He can go over there. That completely made me trip out, Eve. Like, I was just like, this guy has no concept of chain of command, leadership, etc. Because if he's in here crying to me about them, and then he goes and talks to Blaine County's mayor about a topic that's been closed out, and comes back and is like, hey, maybe we're in the wrong, blah, 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 blah. Fuck out of here, brother. You know? So I am now pretty confident. I'm just going to go with Viv. Now, keep in mind, by the way, Eve, this is the same guy that I brought up some concerns about Ruby, and I want to see how he'd react. And this guy goes and tells Ruby that I hate her.
Everything. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he told her that I hate her. Poor Ruby. I had some disagreements with her. That's it. Now, luckily, Ruby had, just came out and said it, and I was just like fucking stun locked. I'm like, what the fuck? So he's just absolutely incompetent and embarrassing. So I sat back and I thought about this, and I was like, I wanted to give Barrick like a month to kind of cook,
fix his shit,
give him an opportunity, and who knows, he may have surprised everybody. But after like these back-to-back stunts among pretty much everyone in a lot of people in LSPD telling me he's just awful, I was like, I'd ask myself, what if he's a ticking time bomb? We can't keep him any longer. And when I think of everybody in LSPD that I've spoken of, who's been recommended to me, and who I think genuinely has the chops Vivian Gray is the only one that fits that category. And I think the biggest characteristic for me is you can speak to her like a human being, which is a rare fucking commodity in the PD.
Well, look how quick she was ready with that paperwork. 8 pages, like.
Yeah. Eve, that right there, that paperwork.
She has the best entrance, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the paperwork. That was the thing that, like, because I was just like in bizarro world in my mind, right? Like, are these people this like unorganized? Like, literally gang members are more organized. Flippy came down here. We had like a 25-minute conversation about like some shit, and this guy's like worried about other people in the city. Chris came down here, same thing. Like other people, same thing. You go fucking talk to the cops, and it's like just some like disorganized fucking mess.
They're in their own world.
They're in their own
world. Yeah.
And so she's different, I think, in that respect. And like you said, the paperwork. That was the immediate thing that popped up in my head. Was like, we asked her for something, and she came through with like 3 different versions. I'm like, she's the one. Now, I will say that, I understand that she might be rough around the edges in some regards, and she might not be perfect, but who is, right?
There's always a learning curve.
Yeah, exactly. So Abby, anything I missed? A lot happened in the last 2 days.
Anything you missed? Nothing important. A county clerk came to me and was like, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, don't even get started. Everything's being normalized. Talking about their pay or whatnot. And I kind of just... I have also... Yeah, I mean, if you got anything for me for like a to-do list, I've also drafted a paper that's a big theory on.
Well, before we go down that road, if there wasn't anything else, I want to loop her into the stop and go before we open up the other things.
Loop her in, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, we're just in the middle of reviewing stop and go. If you want to pull that up with us, do you have access?
Yeah, I have it open. Yeah,
oh, you do?
Open.
All right,
yeah.
easy.
Yeah, I'm about to do. I was cooking on the Chamber of Commerce stuff, and we can do the stop and go, and then we can circle back to that.
Okay. Sorry, say that one more time. I kind of have my morning brain fart.